This is Todd Neale with MedPage Today. Despite the remarkable advances in video game technology in the past 30 years, there remains a small subculture that remains loyal to the earliest arcade games of the 1980s, including Donkey Kong. In 2007, a documentary called The King of Kong followed two gamers as they battled for the high score. After watching it, Dr. Hank Chien, a 35-year-old plastic surgeon practicing in Queens, New York, decided to try his hand at the game while waiting for the funding for his new practice to come through.
Yeah, I was only working maybe 3 or 4 days a week at that time, so I had some extra time to kill. I was like, why don't I just start playing Donkey Kong again? And I just kept getting better and better and better, and so I didn't stop.
Chien started playing on his computer, but after reaching the end of the game, he bought an official arcade version for the apartment he shares in Manhattan with his brother. He soon realized he had the ability to break the world record, and after playing about an hour a day during the week and an hour or two a day on the weekends, Chien broke the world record just past midnight on February 27th. He'd like to credit his surgical skills for putting him over the top, but he doesn't think that's true.
I think there's a correlation between video game skills and surgery skills, but I don't think that one necessarily improves the other. I think people who just have good hand-eye coordination and who are dexterous just are going to be good at both.
It's not much of a stretch to find an overlap between surgical ability and video game skills, according to Chien.
For example, laparoscopic surgery and for plastic surgeons, microscopic surgery, those almost feel exactly like a video game because what you're doing, what you see on the screen or in the microscope is sort of an altered version of what you're doing in reality with your hands. And that's pretty much exactly what a video game is like. What you're doing with your hands is not exactly 100% what you see, but an altered version.
A 2004 study in the Archives of Surgery established a link between laparoscopic skills and video game skills. Chien, then a resident at Beth Israel Medical Center, took part in the study, which was led by Dr. James Rosser, also at Beth Israel.
And Dr. Rosser's study showed that surgeons who play video games, they actually perform faster and with fewer errors in the operating room. So now, whether you want to say that video games does that to the surgeon, or it's just people with good hand-eye coordination, you know, are going to be good at both. You know, either way, it's not necessarily a bad thing that your surgeon is playing video games. Is what I'm getting at.
Chien said there is an as yet unfulfilled potential for video games to be used in surgical training, particularly as gaming becomes more mainstream. As for Chien, interviews and appearances have limited his time with Donkey Kong, although he said he'll try to top anyone that breaks his world record. For MedPage Today, I'm Todd Neale.